Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. ICP incoming. Let's see here what's going on. Well, we've broken free from this descending trend line, essentially the falling wedge pattern. We've seen a lot of this here today. In fact, AVAX and Solana both are breaking free as well. Now, it doesn't mean you just blindly take a long and the price just goes to the moon. It just implies that this is a very good sign, a good shift in momentum. We've broken above this recent resistance level. So what we'll do is we'll draw some new fibs here so we can kind of pay attention to, the bottom is tentatively in. We can kind of see roughly where we might see some resistance here moving forward. 0.5, 0.6, and 8, those are most common retracement levels. Now that we've broken free from this local resistance about 760, we can see the price action trying to make a run towards 790 or maybe even 820. It's a decent chance we'll see some resistance coming up to that golden pocket. We'll talk about that later, but just know that exists. Let's take a look at the back-end data too as well, kind of see what's up. And while we're waiting for this to load, I want to say thank you again to my community for some awesome feedback. Congrats to our community members here as well. We've seen some really nice profit. Glad we were able to add our trading pair ICP to our day trading bot. Again, it's just an automated trading bot that basically just runs off of my day trading strategy. And we can see a good 18% there in 8 hours. XRP 9%, ETH, XRP, ICP, Solana. Some really, really good trades there again. So kind of offsetting some of our swing trades. Even though our current Solana trade is in the green, we did take a small loss with Bitcoin for a stop loss once the price broke that $57,000 support level. It's almost back up to 58.5 now. So an instant recovery for Bitcoin, big surprise, right? That's exactly why we're seeing ICP do well here. So let's talk a little bit about this here. Keep in mind, ICP is not on its own recognizance here, essentially just taken off because of no good reason, right? It's done getting pulled back. It's done retracing, essentially. And now that Bitcoin is surging, we're starting to see ICP surge almost 2x, right? We can see a lot of liquidation here as well, at about 780 to 850. So keep in mind, those are some areas of concentration there, upwards of even 950. The biggest amount, though, we see, and this is more of a macro scenario here, is basically some shorts at about $9 even. We can see that $9 upwards of 950. There's a lot of liquidation there, okay? Again, keep in mind they can close their stop loss or close their trade and profit and that'll go away, but at this point, that is a pretty big incentive to see that $9 mark as a potential reality. Am I saying we're gonna see $9 here soon? No, I don't think that's a reality at all. I know ICP does really good about continuing its trend, and there's a distinct chance we've started this ascending trend line now that we've broken free from our range-bound activity. This is one thing I identify and talk a lot about in my trading academy. Make sure if you're part of our community, you watch that and you recognize. Now that we've broken free from this descending trend line, we've established range-bound activity. We're more likely than not going to see price continue further up from here. Okay? The reason why, again, we broke our local high. We established that as a new low. Somewhere in the range of about 770, 760 would be a solid consideration for a long now that we've broken free from that. Granted, we want to make sure Bitcoin closes soundly above 58K today. That's kind of a point of contention in an area we need to have a good solid closure with, because again, Bitcoin has some resistance above it, but at this point here, closing in this range here where we're at 57.7 to 58K is a really, really good start. Okay, that leads me to believe that we might see this shift in momentum and Bitcoin may be back on track. Again, a lot of this comes with maybe and hypothetical because we don't truly know yet, but this is pretty obvious here that ICP's recovered from its descending trend, and we are more likely than not in our ascending trend here. We just got to kind of see how far the next retracement pulls back to. All right, just some foundational stuff to recognize. Daily time frame, let's work our way down, see what's going on. And quickly to note too, I want to say thank you to everyone who's liking the videos. We're starting to see slightly more views now, and it's all because of you. So deeply appreciate you always hitting the like button every time you watch a video. It really helps grow the channel, gets us in front of more people, and helps prevent moon boys a little bit from getting so many views, because those idiots will just tell you everything's going to the moon, and people tend to listen. It's a really strange phenomenon in the crypto world. So take a look here at the daily time frame. We want to look at recognize and acknowledge being over the 20-day SMA is going to be huge if we can get that. Okay, so again, all the more reason why closure today at 760, 770 or higher is a good thing. We're still too early to tell. The daily hasn't closed yet. We got 7 hours left to trade, but right now we're looking and printing so far a bullish engulfing candle. So truthfully, even 760 or higher would still be a positive here today. Okay, again, that would be basically at that resistance range, essentially showing it's broken. We can also see here too, we're testing 50 in the RSI. Generally, that's construed as a resistance. Being above that would be awesome as well. Money flow index going sideways, stochastic swinging up, and MACD trying to converge. These are all positive signs here. While they're not phenomenal, because again, the daily time frames, it takes a while to average out from such a large downtrend, we're looking to be in the makings of a pretty solid consideration for the price moving higher from here. Okay, if we do take a look at the 4-hour time frame, we can recognize we're over the 20-day SMA. That's usually the first start. Being over the 50 is super huge. And then, of course, we can also recognize too MACD and stochastic swinging up, RSI is over 50. There's everything you want to see in a coin that looks good is right here on the 4-hour. The only thing we are not free from yet is a 100-day SMA, and I really don't put a lot of value into that. In other words, the 200 and the 50, they're both right here at 760, 758, right in that range. All the more reason why we're more likely to see the price continue higher. Keep in mind though, and if we do zoom out, let's actually double check our local point of control. Ever since we've been downtrending, we see the most amount of volume. Is it roughly at about 760? It is, okay. So we're coming up against the resistance range here. So 760 could provide some resistance. So we may actually see the price action, retest this local high and effectively use that as a new low. That's generally what is supposed to happen. Local resistance turn support. So that's kind of where we're at here. I'm speculating we're going to see a pullback to 760, 765. If so, I'd love to see that because that would be a solid consideration for a long, pending Bitcoin closes 58K or higher today. We can also recognize too, again, that we have some resistance above us. It will take some extra volume to get through that. 4-hour time frame is looking good. Hourly, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. We do have a fair value gap below the price action. I'm not super concerned with that, but that is a very real thing. Let's look at the Ichimoku cloud and confirm. As long as we stay above 735, we're still in good shape here based on that metric. Now again, if you look at its history, breaking above the cloud is not a guaranteed win, okay? The price can and will pull back. That happened because Bitcoin retraced and we saw a rush towards 55.5K. Bitcoin's now back at 58.3K as if it never happened, okay? Having said that, ICP is surging twice as strong, and we're seeing a significant correlation here, or decoupling rather, between the two. In other words, ICP goes up when Bitcoin goes up. That's normal. But ICP is going up 2 to 3 times as much as Bitcoin right now. Okay, so that leads me to believe that pullbacks are going to be less severe now that we have a tremendous amount of volume as a base. Okay, so again, those are just things you want to pay attention to, but either way you look at it, there's no consideration for a short. You should not be shorting the market right now. There's not a lot of reasons for it, okay? So we're just gonna draw this trend line out here. I'll post this on our playout chart with our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this, where I give you just kind of hypotheticals on trades I'm planning to take, and that's all available for you there. Either way, I deeply appreciate you watching and hopefully you learned something today. Once again, hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you the next one. Thanks again for your time. Take care.